Howdy, y'all. It's Nicole Cutts here. I scheduled my live to go live. Hold on one second. Alexa, stop. I scheduled my live to go live, and but then when I went to my own live, I couldn't go live. I mean, I couldn't make it do anything. So I don't know what that's about. So I might have to pop over there real quick and tell you all to come over here. Let me see, top chat. Let me see, live chat. I'm gonna turn on live chat and say something. Maybe that'll help. I'm over here. Okay, all right. You're gonna have to bear with me for 1 second. You know, you try to be prepared and it just doesn't work sometimes. I don't know what to say. Okay, videos, home. That's not helping me. That's not helping me. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open a new page. I don't think I'm going to just maybe you'll see me, maybe you don't. I don't know, but I'm going to go over to my YouTube channel, and I am going to tell the folks here, it's saying live, although it's not. I'm going to say, okay, I started a different live. Please close this and go there. Okay, so how many people have I lost with that? I don't know. Still don't know. It still says waiting for the success doc. That is not cool, man. But okay, but I'm here. How do you get me in there? Let me see. YouTube TV, no. Really? What is this? YouTube, no. On my channel, it's not helping me. Playlists. I'm just gonna go there. I'm just back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just back. So, oh, there's Donna King. Oh, hi, Donna. Thank you so much. I hope you weren't one of the people waiting on the other side. This is so strange, this virtual world we live in. But welcome to tonight's episode of the Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs of the Heroine's Quest. And tonight, we're going to be talking about balancing your day job with your side hustle, or the job that you're still doing to get paid, along with your vision that you are growing into. Hey, Rhonda Lynn, that you are growing into, which would be your only job. Okay, so thank you for joining me here. And there's a link below, but you can always follow what I'm doing at my website, which is visionquestretreats.com. A little out of breath right now because I just did my 20 minutes of workout, sort of high intensity, which is a part of a little challenge that I've put myself through. So I had a lot going on today, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, is how do you balance so many different things. What'd you say, Donna? This was the only on live that I saw. Okay, well, I went to the other one and it said 2 people were waiting. I don't know, but I sent a note over there. So, I was doing that thing today of trying to balance so many things. And today is Wednesday, which I have declared Women-Owned Business Wednesday, where I celebrate women business owners and talk about topics and put tools out there for women business owners. So perhaps you've come to this because you would like to do your own thing, or you have a side hustle or a passion project that you're finding it difficult to balance your day job getting paid with the things that really fill you with passion. Now, my goal is to be only doing work that I'm most passionate about. I think that when my passion comes together with my job, that's the best thing. Okay, so my day job is actually something that I created. So it's not like some people's day job where they literally, go in and they're like, I don't really want to be here. And this is something that I created. So I am passionate about it, but it's not my passion. which is Vision Quest retreats, which is my passion that I really love to do, where I help women to clarify and achieve their visions of success for their life's work. Okay. So I just wanted to show you my little book. It might be backward, I don't know, on this. It says Hustle. I love this book. I don't even remember where I got it. Probably got it. Where'd I get it? At like Office Depot. I don't know where I got it, but I loved it because it's my favorite color, as you can tell. Very bright pink, and in gold letters says Hustle. So I put notes in here for all my ideas and things like that. Okay, so I know at least a couple folks that I work with are dealing with this issue of how do you balance your everyday job or the thing that makes your money with the thing that you really most want to be doing. Because as we know, there are only 24 hours in a day, right? And there's only so much energy that you have, and there's so many other things that you have to do. Today, I didn't leave the house because it was a snow day and I had time to get things going, but I had, let me see, I have a project for which I'm seeking sponsorship. Hey, Simone, thank you for joining. I know you probably went to the other, okay. Project for which I'm seeking sponsorship. I have regular Women-Owned Business Wednesday activities. I've got book stuff, and I've got a little bit, not much cuts consulting today, but more all Vision Quest retreats. Plus, since today is Women-Owned Business Wednesday, I had all of these things going on, okay? And I do have a bit of a cold, okay? So how do we balance that and taking care of oneself, okay? Because I don't believe that the way to do everything is by running yourself into the ground, okay? I talked about the winter hibernation that I've been, doing for the past several months, which doesn't mean I've stopped doing anything. It just means I'm respecting my body, trying to get more rest. I hardly ever get sick, so I don't know what little rhinovirus carrying germy person got near me, but hey, it happens to all of us sometime. So I want to hear from you guys as well. I want to hear what you are working on, what you might have to balance with your day job, or winter only started in December. It did. It's felt like, that's Simone talking. No, months I've been in hibernation. Oh, from November, it started getting dark. Anyway, I don't deal with hecklers, okay? It's been winter for years and years. See, we don't live in the same place. Where I live, it's been winter for months. But anyway, so I know hibernation could go on for quite a while, but that's the other thing I've done is I've started a preparation to emerge in the spring. So that means that I'm getting in better shape and I'm eating better to lose some of the winter weight, get the energy, because when the springtime comes, I'm planning on capitalizing on the increased sunlight and the increased energy and movement of everything around me, which I always get very, excited in the spring. And so I've been using the winter to plan. But it doesn't mean that, like the bears, I've been able to completely hibernate. So what I'd like to hear from you all is, how do you balance? And it doesn't have to be just your day job with your passion project or your day job with your vision of success. It can just be, how do you balance all the things in your life? How do you balance, if you have children, how do you balance work, children, self-care? Oftentimes people, but I think women in particular, I don't have this problem, but women in particular tend to not engage in the self-care piece. Especially if you're married and you have kids. They tend to, I'm taking care of the kids and taking care of the husband, and they're not really taking time for themselves. I don't have that issue, but I do know that it's difficult. So I do want to hear about that. So if you're out there, I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. No, I can't. Go ahead and make a comment. Simone Chikanowicz said, I'm blessed because my day job is quite tied to my passion. You are blessed, and that is awesome. And that's what I am trying to help other folks to do. And also where I ultimately want to be is that it's kind of all just one and the same. So you're blessed in that way. Do you want to tell us what your passion is, Simone? And Rhonda, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, although you don't have to. But I'm going to talk about this struggle while you all are thinking about that, and since this is going to live for later on. I've been through one period of transition from day job fitness. Yay! It has been a huge help with my depression. Yes. I have to exercise in order to keep depression at bay. I have to exercise, I have to get sunlight. I have my UV light going on right now. And it helps to get out of the house, right, Simone? You get out of the house, you go help other people, you work out, all that good stuff. And you can also, if anybody on here didn't hear me at the outset, feel free to check out my 30-day spring breakthrough challenge, which started Wednesday, started on just yesterday. I started the day early, but that's because I had to get stuff going. But it's ending on the first day of spring, which is March 20th. So, yes, ma'am. So, a part of that for me is moving. It's moving, it's fitness, it's getting out there. Okay. But what I started to say is that I had the challenge once before when, I'm not going to tell you my whole story, but, I went, my most recent adult passion before I went on this quest for my vision of success was clinical psychology. So I went from undergrad into graduate school to get a degree in clinical psychology. And that was what I was passionate about. That's what I wanted to do. That was it. Round about my 4th year of the 5-year program, I fell out of love with clinical psychology, which at the time I called, my passion. I didn't say vision of success at the time. I fell out of love with it. I got healthier. I got sober. I was like, you know what? I don't want to live in that world of psychopathology anymore. But I didn't know what my next passion was. So I went on a search, and one of the things that I discovered, the story is a little bit longer, involved art and things, but one of the things that I love is working with people. I love teaching. I love groups of people. I love coaching. So I parlayed my clinical skills into working in the organizational setting. And I created a business called Cuts Consulting, through which I do that. Hold on, I'm pausing to read Simone's comment. I do find challenges sometimes when my son needs something taken care of and I'm choosing between my time and what he needs done immediately. Yes, that is something I hear from a lot of moms, and witness with my own mom. It's like, the kids need something, the husband needs something, I got to do that right now. My stuff gets put on hold. So I'm sure that can be difficult to balance. So as I was saying, but going from being a clinical psychologist into being an organizational consultant was not something I could just jump into, right? So I went through a period before I, could say, okay, I'm only doing Cuts Consulting, where I was still working as a clinical psychologist. I worked in a community mental health place. I worked under another psychologist, collecting behavior modification data. I was doing these different jobs, but also trying to build and grow Cuts Consulting. And I found that was very challenging. But what I realized then, and what I'm realizing now, is that it's often a temporary condition, right? And you just have to, or I had to be very disciplined about my time. And, so that I could balance, like, okay, I do clinical stuff from this hour to this hour. And then I have to, and also the other thing it really requires balancing between these two things for me, and I know for other people as well, is patience. Because a lot of time, obviously, the thing that we're passionate about, we want to just do that all the time. Like the work, Vision Quest retreats. I'm up here in my office working on that a lot, and it's not necessarily immediately making money, but I'm happy to do it, right? Now, again, I'm lucky because it's not like the work that I do through Cuts Consulting. I even have a double mug where I have Cuts Consulting on one side and Vision Quest retreats on the other. It's not that I don't enjoy the work of Cuts Consulting. It's just that Vision Quest retreats is the work that gives me more energy, keeps me afloat. What did D. Wright say? Simone, that sounds very familiar. Yes, I'm sure it does. Talk amongst yourselves. So patience is required when straddling between the day job and your vision of success. Discipline is very important. One of the other things that I've had um, to balance is my writing. So I've written a couple of books, and that's definitely not something that as I'm writing, I'm going to be getting paid for. So I've got to keep my clients happy. I've got to do all of that. I got to show up for work, but then write also. So what I found is that I often had to go away. I had to step away. Now I'm blessed as well because I have a life that has flexibility. It's not completely lucky. I mean, I am living my vision of success. So I did create it this way so that I can do that, but I would take time off to go write. And then after the writing was up and running, past sort of the creative, putting it down, fresh stage, I could do editing maybe an hour each morning before getting down to my other work. So, I'm often doing more than one thing and having to do that balancing. And again, it's like that discipline, like, okay, I can only work on this for an hour, and then I get to this other stuff. And I have to just be okay with that patient improvement, the discipline to stick to a schedule. The other thing, I have a theory that our vision is something that we're meant to bring to the world. Okay. And that can be whatever it is for you. And I'm talking about your vision for your life's work. People have other visions as well, but I'm talking about the thing that is your work. Okay. That you're going to bring to the world, that's also going to sustain you, that you will make your money off of, you'll make a living off of. So you can be like Simone, whose day job is what she's also passionate about. Now, I like being my own boss in a lot of ways, but if there was an organization that said, "Hey, come in and do the Vision Quest retreats thing," and I might very well do that. Okay, I just haven't found that. I lost my train of thought. Okay, I was talking about the discipline, patience, having a plan. Oh, that is important. Having a plan, like having a goal. If this is what you want to be doing, like let's say you're working on writing a book. Having a plan for that. By when do you want to have written that book? Because there are too many people who will say, ain't making much of a living. That was someone's comment I'm laughing at. There are too many people who will say, well, I've always wanted to do such and such a thing. I don't believe in regrets. So my thing is, if there's something that I've always wanted to do, or if it's been sort of niggling at me for a while, then that means that's something that I need to do. I know what I started to say is that your vision is something, I have a theoretical model called the vision realization continuum, and it explains how a human comes to be living their vision of success. And I conceptualize them as these two separate entities, and God, goddess, higher power acts as a cosmic matchmaker that puts you and the vision together so that you all can consummate the relationship. And then you have the vision together. I know it's kind of weird. It's like the vision, but needs you to be born through. Okay. Probably shouldn't have put that preposition at the end of the sentence, but maybe I should worry less about that and more about that. I don't know. I don't know what to be worrying about. So, but what that means is that you have a relationship with your vision. And even if you spend 8 hours of your day or however many hours a week on this day job thing, you can't neglect that relationship with your vision. So whether it's an hour a day or whether it's only on the weekend, one of the most important things is to make sure that you engage with your vision on a regular basis. My recommendation is at least an hour a day. And if you don't know what your vision of success is yet, spend at least an hour a day trying to figure it out. That could involve meditating, it can involve reading books. Like I have a list of resources on my website, but one of them I know offhand is I Could Do Anything If Only I Knew What It Was. You can work with somebody like me as a success coach. But even if you don't know what you're passionate about or what your vision is, that doesn't mean give up. looking for it. Excuse me, it was a process for me to even get clear about what my vision of success was. And the best advice I guess I could give anybody or tell you what I did, really, I don't know if this is advice, but is to follow your instincts. So if something gets you excited, that's what you should be doing more of. And it doesn't matter about other people, okay? That's the other thing. If you are an accountant and you've always wanted to learn to play the oboe, then take oboe lessons. If you are, a doctor and you've always wanted to tell jokes like Ken Jeong, then do that, because what you're passionate about, you'll have energy for. And I also think, again, back to my vision realization continuum, that's a sign that that's the thing you're supposed to be doing. If you get happy and feel alive and get energy from it, then that's your vision. Okay. If you think about work and you think about going to work and you don't want to do it, either that's totally not what you should be doing, or you need to find something in that work about which you have passion. Maybe you need to reconnect to the mission of that. But I think it's a waste of time to go park yourself somewhere for 8 hours a day or more sometimes doing something that doesn't make you happy. It's just a waste of time, and some people waste their entire lives like that. Again, not a believer in regret. So if you know what your vision is, you got to spend some time with it every day. If you can. Now, if that's just an impossibility, then carve out some time on the weekend to spend some time with it, just like a relationship. You can't be in a relationship and completely neglect that other person. You have to be in communication with them. And as you're moving, if you're not clear about what your vision is, but you follow your instincts and you take one step after another, just going with where you're pulled, the vision will become clearer as you do that. But one thing that won't happen is if you just stand, I've talked about this metaphor before, but standing on one bank of a river and there's fog between you and the other side, and your vision is over on the other side, it won't just miraculously become clear. You have to look down and step on what stones you do see. And as you do that, the fog will start to clear, or you will go through the fog and your vision will be on the other side. But you cannot just sit still and think about it. You have to be in motion for you and the vision to come together. I'm going to take a break to look at a comment here from Avanette. Avanette said, the writing a book comment hit home for me. Yes. And I know, Avanette, that you have been working on a book. I think the last time we talked, well, I don't want to put your business out there, but you can say where you are with the book. But yeah, that's definitely something that and when you study the biographies of a lot of writers, very successful writers, they would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and try to put in a couple hours before going to work to feed themselves and feed their children, or they stay up late at night and do that. So when you're really passionate and when something is really your vision and what you're supposed to bring to the world, you have to carve out the time. Now, I'm sure that, the writers that I'm thinking of course, I can't remember exactly if it was Toni Morrison or if it was Maya Angelou, but it was one of them I remember reading about having to get up really early every morning to put in a couple hours. And when you are dedicated like that, you're gonna do that. Now, is it gonna be, did they have the luxury of saying, you know what, I'm gonna take a writing retreat and, go off to the islands for a week? And no, they didn't, right? But when something is really your vision, just like a relationship, back to the vision realization continuum, it takes work, right? So if you don't carve out the time for it, if you don't respect, and if you don't make that time for your vision sacred, it's not going to happen. Nobody else is going to give you that time. And D. Wright said, great metaphor. What about the monsters in the fog that are waiting to attack you? That's a very good question. The monsters in the fog waiting to attack you,
are usually things that have emanated from our own mind. We have a lot of fears that can be conceptualized as the monsters also. Now, when you go to the metaphor of your life as a heroine's quest, and when you look at the monomyth or the hero's journey, you know that there are those monsters. There are dragons, and there are also threshold guardians. Okay, so this is why I lay the template of the monomyth on our real lives, because it's obvious. It's there. Okay, so if you choose to see your life as a heroine's quest, then you've got the template. What are these monsters? They are threshold guardians. Okay, threshold guardians. If you think of from Greek mythology, if you think of Cerberus, the three-headed dog, that would be a threshold guardian. They are the scary monsters that prevent the heroine from passing through to the next level of her quest. They try to prevent you. Okay. So those things are meant to be very scary, because to get past them or to defeat them, especially if they're fears, okay, to defeat them, you go to the next level of the quest. The threshold guardians are trying to keep you from the next level, because the next level is not just linear, okay, I've got one step closer. It's also a higher plane spiritually, where you're heading to becoming the heroine, right? And you will become the heroine if the object of your quest is your vision of success, which is the two things that I put together. Instead of going for the Holy Grail, or going for, the sword, or, whatever, you're going for that ultimate state of living your vision of success. I have my little sword here. Keep my sword handy. Was a letter opener. You're going for that ultimate success of living your vision, and you have to defeat the threshold guardians, also those those monsters in the fog, and the dragons. Okay, the dragons are more. Though that's not the same as a threshold guardian. The dragon can be an actual obstacle, like somebody else trying to prevent you. A boss, a test that you have to pass. That's not coming from a fear. That's an actual obstacle outside of you. Okay. And not if you, because I think everybody is familiar with the idea of the hero or heroine's quest, because it's a universal theme that lives in our collective unconscious. You remember that the hero or heroine, in our case, has to lose sometimes, right? So you don't expect to defeat every monster or every dragon on the first try. That wouldn't be a very exciting quest. You have to sometimes get beaten up and go away, lick your wounds, and come back. But you also have to believe that ultimately, especially we haven't gotten to talking about the ordeal yet. A lot of this is, when I say the subject of this is the trials, the tribulations, and triumphs of the heroine's quest, there actually is a stage in the hero's quest, the road of trials, okay? And that has several different tests and trials along the way. The ordeal is the big, big, big battle, which I'll save for talking about another time. But right now, we're talking about the trials, and one of those trials is, how do you balance living your, day job and bringing your vision of success to life? So I hope that this has been a helpful discussion. Just to recap, patience, very necessary, discipline, and having a plan with a timeline is very helpful. Okay, that helps you with the discipline part. Today, again, I was balancing, I don't know how many things. And taking rest. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the day. I have done everything that I can. Okay. You will drive yourself crazy. And I have often driven myself to the edge of crazy, thinking that, I have to do it all. There is a point at which you have to stop. Like, I did as much as I could today. I put this out there about this coming on tonight. I got my workout in. 20 minutes, and I'm done. I'm done. Could I possibly do more? Could I be pushing for things? Yes, I could, but I'm done. Which also is important because I think that the reason why I stop at a certain point, self-care, yes, so that I don't wear myself down to a nub, but also because of my belief in the rightness of my vision and that it's not just about me. If I really believe that my higher power is this cosmic matchmaker, then he, she, it is involved in this whole process. So it's not really about me doing everything nor controlling everything. Today I was very frustrated. I was chasing people. I'm like, why do I have to write these people over and over? Why does anybody just do what they say they're going to do, right? Because they got other things on their mind, I guess, but it wears me out. And part of it's I don't control it. So all I can do is my best, and then I have to leave the rest, okay? Which, if you need a template for that, we've got Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements. That is the 4th agreement, is always do your best, nothing more, nothing less. I like simple tools, the 4 agreements, the stages of the hero's quest. What else do I use? The SCARF model of influence. I just like concise, simple tools that can be used across work, love, life, every situation, and practiced over and over. Those resources exist somewhere on my website, which is visionquestretreats.com. I want to remind you all and invite you to invite your friends that we are having a retreat this spring. Several people who are on here are going to be there. It is March 22nd through the 24th. It's called the Spring Breakthrough Beach Retreat, and it's going to be held in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be an intense period of work before I get there. And I'm looking forward to it because that is my vision. Okay, that is my ultimate vision, is the work of Vision Quest Retreats. That's when I feel most happy and alive and vibrant. That's what I want to be doing. That's what I want to be doing only. I love you, Cuts Consulting. I love you. I love you, my clients. And I'm happy for the work. I'm blessed that I get to do something that I'm good at and that I enjoy. But I love you, Vision Quest Retreats. So don't worry, I'll still be working on that. And it's not supposed to come easy, so I'll just keep working on it. But I hope to see you there. If you're not already signed up, I know some of you are. Thank you very much. But if you want information, you can find that on my website, which is visionquestretreats.com. Sean Pearson Dingle, thank you for coming on. You said I'm finally logged on. Been here since the beginning. Okay, yeah, I know. It's kind of, I had trouble getting in my own thing. One last thing, if you're still connected, also until April 30th, I am looking for small business sponsors. I thought about it because Sean Pearson Dingle is one of the sponsors of a reading project that I'm doing with some young ladies at Blue Stay Academy. They're a part of Blue High School in Southeast DC. And for the past few years, I've been going there and having book talks and discussions with the young ladies around the same thing we're talking about, living your visions of success, seeing your life as a heroine's quest, only using my books as a jumping off point to talk about these things. And then these series of discussions culminate in a visit to a local senior center where the young ladies get together with the elder ladies, and we do the same thing, and it's all just about sharing stories. There's no lecturing of anybody. It's all just us sharing our stories, and the older women and the young ladies seem to really enjoy it. But I'm looking for some sponsors to support that project. You don't have to be a small business, but it's only $20 to start if you want to buy more than one book. I've given away a lot of books, and I'm just looking for some sponsorship because what always happens is that on the last day, a whole bunch of girls come, especially because they get credit for graduation. And I want to be able to defray the cost of making sure they all have their own book, because that's one thing that I want them to all leave with is a copy of their own book. So where can you find that information? On my website too, in the blog. If you go to visionquestretreats.com, click on blog and look for small business sponsorship, you will find it, and you will find a buy now button where you can buy now. You can buy one book, which is $20, or you can buy as many books as you like. I already have, I think, 4 or 5 this go round that have been purchased by small business owners. But again, you don't have to be a small business owner to support. Well, actually, not only small business owners. That's right, because there's another person. I don't want to call people out, but there's another person on here who donated a book today. So I really appreciate that. And I think that's it for me tonight. So tune in next week, same time, same bat station. I will not put that teaser thing up there with the waiting because that didn't work, or maybe I'll figure out how to get in it. I don't know. But right now, I'm going to go stir fry some veggies and probably eat them with some quinoa. And then I will go to sleep. So thank you for joining. This is going to live here on my channel. If you have more questions, comments, you can also contact me directly through my website, visionquestretreats.com. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, over and out. I'm trying to find the end button. Okay.